Hello, everybody. It's Royce here. Welcome to the YouTube channel, The Four Horsemen. Okay, so tonight we're going to have a great show. But the first thing I want to say is, first of all, welcome to The Four Horsemen, your ultimate destination for all things rock and roll, classic rock, with some heavy metal thrown in, and some other genres from time to time. We're celebrating the legendary artists, timeless albums, iconic anthems that defined generations, folks. We cover the music you love, the stories behind it, and the history that made it happen. So, thank you all for being here. I ask one thing when we start: please hit that thumbs up or like button. It helps the show get distributed to a wider audience. And another thing, we've got hundreds and hundreds of shows for you to go watch, music-based shows and a few other topics. So if you're not already a subscriber, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll get a one-time notification when the next show is coming on. We do a live stream every Sunday at 6:30 p.m., just like this one now. And midweek, we try to fit in some pre-recorded videos so you have a little more to watch. Okay, so the show tonight is Santana. We're talking about my friend Carlos Santana. In particular, why is Santana so damn good? Why is Santana so good, Chris? You got any thoughts on that right now?
I think he was born with it. And I was watching a video earlier on
Yeah,
YouTube. And he started playing guitar in old in strip clubs just to help his family pay his way back in the day.
yeah. Okay.
So,
Was he
if you're
was
getting started that early performing and in seedy clubs like that, and you're still able to
CD
make
Club?
your way,
Yeah, yeah. No, that's impressive. Yeah, he had some bad things happen to him early on too.
yeah.
The guy that brought him to America. I don't even know if it's appropriate to do that, talk about that tonight. But
Yeah.
okay, so let's talk about what made Carlos Santana so great. Well, unique guitar tone, of course, stemmed from a combination of his playing technique, his specific gear. We'll talk about all that. His fusion of musical influences. He uses a straight tone with sustained notes and precise bends. And man, he really does. I mean, just think Black Magic Woman, those bends, just the timing. I mean, they're just absolute perfection. Um, but anyway, his signature sound is amplified PRS guitars with Mesa Boogie, highly rated amplifiers, and a melodic style that blends Latin rhythm, rock and blues, and some psychedelia, of course, as well. He holds notes using precise bends and vibrato to create a smooth, often clarinet-like quality. Okay, Santana's playing is very melodic, often incorporating trills and rhythms that blend Latin influence phrasing and blues rock lyrics. Okay, so rhythmic complexity, complexity. I can hardly even say it. He has an unusual sense of timing, sometimes playing riffs that are rhythmically complex despite being melodically simple. He is known for using Paul Reed Smith guitars, which have a specific scale length and pickup configuration that contribute to his warm, rich, sustained tone, everybody. And of course, the Mesa Boogie amplifiers are his signature amps, in particular the Mark I, which provides that creamy overdrive and sustain he uses for his lead tones. So he also he uses like pedals, effects pedals, real infrequently, but often incorporates a Mutron volume wah pedal, which he sometimes leaves in one position to create a unique tonal quality. That's pretty interesting. So, Chris, hold on. Okay, the gang's showing up here.
Hey,
The gang's showing up. I've been so busy talking. I had Dan. How are you, brother?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain.
yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Dawson. How are
Dawson.
you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see both of you. So, Dan, well, let's see. We'll go to you. Chris and I have been talking just a little bit. Have you been a big Santana fan?
Well, I've been
Dan?
one of those fans where I love their music,
Yeah, so
but
do I.
I know very little about their history or how they, anything about them really. To me, I would put them probably in
Hmm.
my one of my top 25 bands.
I could easily do that too. Go ahead.
Because I look at their music over the
Yeah,
years, and he's put out so much music. I find it
yeah.
strange that I only know about 10 of his songs. I don't, you know, that's what bothers me. I mean, they're so
Yeah.
legendary,
No,
and
I know they really are. Yeah. Hey Dawson, Santana fan here?
I think he's pretty good. It's kind of like Led Zeppelin is your salt, Black Sabbath is your pepper, but you have the chili is Carlos Santana, and sometimes you just
Yeah.
need to put a little chili on the menu there.
I
I
got you.
like him.
Yeah. No, I
He's
do
continuing
too.
to grow on me in my tastes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, here's how it kind of happened for me. Okay, we saw the movie Woodstock when it first came out, and that performance by Santana was just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, that drummer Michael Shreve, who was on the
Yeah.
first, I think
oh
six,
yeah,
not I think six albums, yeah, with him, and he went on to have a successful career in other things as well. I mean, drumming. Anyway, he was amazing. But I tell you what, there wasn't a single member up on that stage with Santana that wasn't amazing. And you know what really blows my mind? Santana didn't. They weren't really known, prior to Woodstock. They their manager Bill Graham owned the Fillmore East and West. And if you know anything if you know anything about Bill Graham, he absolutely demanded excellence of himself, of all his
yeah.
employees,
He's a
of
great promoter.
the equipment, the acoustics, the speakers, everything he had in there, and from everybody that came in there to perform. So having a manager like Bill Graham is the reason that they were allowed to play at Woodstock.
That's right.
Bill Graham vouched for them, and that's a big thing when you get him vouching for you. So anyway, he really Santana was known for just playing basically in the San Francisco area. They were the opening band for the Grateful Dead. Okay, he was tight with Jerry Garcia, and they would play all those free concerts down at Golden Gate Park and other venues around the Bay Area. So he had a local following, but no albums out or anything like that. So one of the funny stories that probably everybody's heard me tell already was when Santana was at the airport. They just arrived in New York to go into the Woodstock concert, and Jerry Garcia, got off the plane and was standing up at the top of the stair. He goes, "Hey, Carlos, how are you?" Waved him over, and Carlos goes over and he says, "Hey, man, I got some acid. You guys want to drop some acid?" Because that was the
Oh
big
yeah.
thing in San Francisco. Everybody was dropping acid. Those concerts down at Golden Gate Park, it was all about everybody was just messed up bad on psychedelics. And Carlos says to Jerry Garcia, "No, no, Jerry, we don't know when we're going up. We don't want to do that right now. We don't know when we're going to go up." And he goes, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. You guys are going up after me, and I'm not going on for about 5 hours." He goes, "Oh." So he took the acid, LSD, from Jerry Garcia, spread it out amongst the band members. They're sitting in a little room, just, well, frying, peaking, however you want to call it. About an hour after, yeah, tripping, yeah. About an hour after taking it, and the door swings open and goes, "Santana, you're up." Some of the people couldn't make it, because of the congestion and stuff, and they could not even believe it. They went out on stage, and to have performed the way they did, and I watched that performance probably 4 or 5 times. I've got the video, of Woodstock and everything, and but I watched it 4 or 5 times before there was a video.
That's probably
But-
why you see the drummer every time they got the camera on him. He's just smiling away.
yeah.
Right. But to be able to perform and do anything like that is just.
And the
I
fact
mean-
that I have. Well, we'll start showing things later, but I have
Yeah.
the CD with the full set, and Soul Sacrifice was the second last song they played. So by the time they got to there, you couldn't be tripping any longer than they already were. So
I know. Well, I got to tell you, I mean, when I saw that movie and saw them perform, and there was a few other people, most of the people were very, very familiar that you saw there, but I wasn't that familiar with, say, Alvin leave 10 years after and wasn't at all familiar with Santana. And I walked away from watching that a huge fan of both. More Santana, but both. You know, I was a big fan of both, and I've remained a big fan of both. Love Santana. And you know what? It wasn't just me that concert had an effect on. All of my friends, I don't care if they were my age, 2 or 3 or 4 years younger, 3 or 4 or 5 years older, everybody in my little town just outside of Las Vegas of Henderson, everybody was a Santana fan. Like the day after that, the day after that concert movie came out, everybody was a Santana. And I mean, we're not just Santana fans. We were rabid. Everybody loved him. Everybody knew the words to all the songs and shit. I mean, it was just amazing. And so, yeah, they've just really knocked it out of the park with that whole thing. So anyway, so we'll get back here a little bit, and I got a couple of other things to say here. You know, his solos, Carlos's solos frequently used the minor pentatonic scale, but incorporated other modes such as the Dorian mode, which has a smooth, brooding quality. And boy, that really comes through too. Spiritual and emotional expression. Well, he's spoken about his guitar being an extension of his spirituality, which comes through in his emotional, expressive, and soulful playing. Yeah, I mean, it is just amazing. And, you know, I heard, guys, that, you know, he was sick this past year, and there was a bunch of concert dates that got canceled. But he's touring in 2026. Yeah. He's going to play 7 or 8, 9, 10 times. I was looking at the schedule today, a whole bunch of times in Vegas at the House of Blues and a few other venues. And then they'll be going on the road and going to, you know, different places throughout the country. And I'll tell you what, man, that's been on my bucket list to see Carlos Santana. As big a fan as I was, I probably had a couple of opportunities and didn't follow up. But I have got, this could be the last one, man. I have got to see Santana in concert, and I'm going to make every, you know, I grew up in Las Vegas. It's a 6.5, 7 hour drive. And I would drive back there to see him. I know this, you know, the cheapest seats aren't seats. It's kind of like a pit right in front of the stage. Everybody has to stand up, and they're like a fraction of the cost of anything else on the seats that I was looking at, you know. And
yeah, I need to check into that, because I saw his list of cities that he's touring in 26, and the first stop is about an hour north of me, you know. And so I want to. Okay. That's gonna be March 28th. So that's
yeah, I saw Texas stops. Yeah. So anyway, his sound is, you know, it's like a fusion of Latin American music with blues, rock, jazz, drawing from a wide range of global historical music influences. And there's psychedelia in there too. Don't let me fool you. They did a lot of performing on psychedelics. Carlos Santana's guitar is instantly recognizable. Yes, it is, because several tightly integrated musical, technical, cultural elements create a singular sonic fingerprint. These elements interact constantly throughout the decades of recordings and performances, which is why listeners identify his playing sometimes when a single bar or phrase is played. I mean, I know instantly that, I mean, Santana has a unique voicing in his guitar, and I know instantly when it's a Santana song. And
but, you know, with most bands, you know, when you hear a band, the first thing most people are drawn to is the singer, but not with Santana. With Santana, you're always listening for Carlos.
Exactly, you know? Exactly. You're always listening for Carlos. That's exactly right. So yeah, look at the chat's been going off. I spent, you know, about 30 minutes in Michael Nolan's chat, and we were all wondering because it was buffering, and people were saying, "Hey, Royce, you know, if you want to go on early, we'll support you." But I also knew that you guys wouldn't know I was going on early, first of all, and a whole lot of people that might be planning on coming to the show at 6:30 are going to show up and be like 45 minutes late and wonder what happened. So I just couldn't do that, you know. I even called Michael. I called Michael Nolan, and of course there was no answer. But then I came across a little video that must have played right before his show was supposed to start, saying, "I'm not going to be able to do it tonight because of his internet provider. I guess there was problems there, and he wasn't able to make it work." Yeah, he was real bummed out too. I felt really bad for him. I never got to talk to him. He never answered. So I don't know. Sorry, Michael. You know, we're all pulling for you, brother. We hope you get that all worked out soon. So we got a lot of people in the chat. I see my friend Rock and Robin Bird and Dividing Dragon and Dwayne Walatica. How you doing, brother? Dalek Lives Matter. Dr. Insomnia, my brother from another. Dividing Dragon. Oh my gosh, just Kate's here. Hi, Caitlin. Kate's Magical Corner, people. Check her out. She streams twice a week, and Kate's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend everybody go watch Kate's Magical Corner twice a week. Dr. Insomnia. Let's see who else. Chris Elliott.
Yeah, you can see Dawson over at Caitlin's too sometimes.
Okay, Dawson's up on the panel often. Dawson's often on the panel. Yeah, Dawson, Sir James, Caitlin, and Dawson are pretty much the regular deal over there. Dr. Rick's here. So anyway, let me just God, we've got people for it here. Cord. Wow, there's a lot of people here. I can't even find the bottom of the chat, guys. That's what happens when things are going so well here. So anyway, yeah, I want to say one thing about last week. I always like to give a shout out to people that buy a membership or you make a little super chat or something. And last week we had Michael Nolan actually did a super chat for $10, and Rock and Robin Bird came in with a super sticker for $1.99, swinging that deuce hammer. And Joseph Blue, a super for $5. And I just want to thank you guys so very much for supporting the show. I want to thank everybody that's watching and supporting the show. But, just got to do a special shout out when I can, when people are, donating to the show a little bit. So anyway, guys, who's got something they want to add to the Santana conversation right now?
I do.
Okay, go, Dawson.
Part of his style was he liked to use triplets. His fingers would go really close together, and he would go up and down the scale. And a lot of people don't really have that as their signature. So that's one of his licks, and he'll start off like that, and he'll finish the run like that. It just not only his tone, but the way he plays, and that makes him unique. Right.
Well, I think I'll go ahead. I've got the very first self-titled album came out in August '69. I think I'll go ahead and show that right now. We'll mix some showing in with everything else. Now, I absolutely love this album. I mean, keep in mind this was their first album that came out right after Woodstock. They'd never released an album yet. But what I did find out is because Bill Graham was their manager, they did record a whole bunch of live stuff at the Fillmore that predates this album. And I was listening to it today. You can find it online, just Fillmore East, Santana, 1968, 9, 70, 71, right in there. But anyway, the recordings actually predate this. I've got more to say on them later. But I love this because this was to me, this is about as close as you can get to the Woodstock performance, I mean, that Soul Sacrifice, that song just blew my mind. Every member of the band was just insane. Okay. Evil Ways, Shades of Time, Waiting, Savior, Jingo, then side 2, Persuasion, Treat You. I mean, I don't know. I just don't care. I'll tell you, I've listened to all of these songs probably 500 times each. I love this album. So anyway, that was 1969, and what's pulled equal to that for me has been Santana Abraxas. This is an amazing album, amazing cover art too. This comes from an artist's painting. I mean, it's just a real trippy album. Just great songs on it too. I mean, we're talking like, on side 1, and I love these songs. Singing Winds, Crying Beasts, Black Magic Woman, Gypsy Queen, Oye Como Va. That was a big song. We always were discussing what exactly does that mean. It's kind of like what's going on here. Oye Como Va. Incident at Neshamut. We get to side 2, and we've got Sia Cabo, Mother's Daughter, Samba Pati, Hope You're Feeling Better. That was a cool song. El Nicoya. Yeah, this is just an absolutely fantastic album right here. So okay, I'm gonna put this down for now, and let's see. Anybody else want to show something right now? We can show throughout the show, a little here and a little there.
I've got some Santana bootlegs I should have dug out, but
oh yeah, that would have been cool
tonight.
Okay, it happens. It happens, you know. I had a lucky break a few weeks ago. I was shopping for used albums, you know, and Santana was uppermost in my mind because I knew I wanted to do a show on them, and I picked up this Santana album here, and this is a really cool album. Okay, and I picked this up, and it was released in let's see. Okay, this one was released in 1972, so it's right in order with the other two, released in 1972. But it's like brand new. I mean, the cover, everything, and I paid $18 for it. You know, which I don't know. You know, you get better deals than that, and I've gotten many better deals than that. But when you're looking for something specific and you find it for 18, you're pretty damn happy. You know. So anyway, all right. So let's.
I got something I can show off for.
Okay, go for it, bro.
All right, got this a little while ago. Sorry, it's a 2 CD. It's got the original album.
Oh, good.
It's the original album and the entire Woodstock set. So, like, you got the original album there. And the Woodstock album is in full set.
Okay.
And then you also get this is pretty cool, a poster, a double-sided poster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
And then this is what it looked like from the stage.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
So I got more to show, but I'll do that as we go.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. The same thing. We'll just bring stuff in, fill a few blanks here and there and stuff like that. Got some good comments. You know, Joseph Blue let us all know that Oye Como Va translates to listen to how it goes or listen to how it's going. Okay. A little different from what I said. I said something like, what's going on here? I don't know. Yeah, kind of related. Joseph Blues is probably more accurate than mine. Okay, one of the 5 times. Oh my God, Dwayne Walotica saw Carlos Santana 5 times. I was near the front row. Amazing to see him up close. Managed to get a guitar pick from a roadie. That's so cool. Man, I am envious of that. Yeah. Wow, that's great, Dwayne.
Twice.
Did you?
Twice here at the casino.
Yeah. I know. He came to one of our little Indian casinos, the one down near Santa Barbara. It's 90 miles away. You know, it's not a big thing. And I don't know. It seems like things were kind of slow at the time, you know. And I didn't see him, but you know what? I'm going to make sure I see him in 2026. You know, we used to go to Vegas all the time because I grew up in Henderson. You know, we called it Vegas. 9 miles outside of Vegas. Everybody worked in Vegas. My mother worked in Vegas. My father worked in Vegas. My brothers, my sister. I worked in Vegas. You know, a teenager, we worked in the kitchens. It was a lot of fun at food fights and shit, you know. And anyway, so we all worked in Vegas. We refer to Vegas. And you know what? A lot of my friends that I grew up with in Henderson, they all live in Vegas now. And I used to go back there a lot when my mother still had the home that we all grew up in, you know. Bought that home in 1963, I think. And so we'd run back there every chance we got and visit friends. And all my class reunions are held back there. The last one I went to was back there. They were all back there. Half the time they're at some small casino in some little convention room or something. But anyway, so it was a lot of fun. And then it's kind of like the last few years, my mother came to live with us for 5 years. She's gone now. And, my brother, who still lived there, wound up in Oregon. Everybody left, all my family left. And then I still have some good friends there, and some of them used to actually come and see me here in California, and I'd stop and see them. Like, say, if I was on the Laughlin River Road on my motorcycle, I'd go through Henderson and visit some of my friends, maybe even spend the night somewhere. Anyway, so I haven't had a lot of reason to go to Vegas here in the last 5-6 years, but Santana is a reason for me to go to Vegas. I'll go to Vegas to see Santana. And they say everything has gotten kind of bad in the casinos. They charge you for parking at the casino. They charge you resort fees, which kick the prices way up. I was hearing something about a $28 cocktail. I mean, corporations have taken over, and they don't understand what they're doing to themselves. Hey, Jason, how are you? Remember to subscribe and smash the like button. Love you, brother. Appreciate that. I want you all to listen to Jason Rojas. Subscribe, hit the like button. All right, we would appreciate that. We're trying to grow the show. Absolutely. And we appreciate you saying so, buddy. Okay, so go ahead.
What I was saying and what it kind of ties into what you guys were talking about earlier, you too, Dawson, about his signature sound. Because the 2 times I saw Santana, the first time it was more of his extended play, kind of instrumental. And that soulful guitar, like as soon as you hear it, it just transforms you, similar to what you were kind of explaining there, Dawson. And then the second time I saw him, it was closer to like listening to a greatest hits. It was playing all the more popular songs, the shorter songs. So just between the 2 different sets, and he's such an incredible musician. It's
well, and Dr. Insomnia just called me out. Okay, Royce, it's almost New Year. Make your resolution. I will see Santana live in concert this year. Okay. New Year's resolution. There may be a revolution. I don't know, but my resolution is I will see Santana in Vegas this year. I won't have to twist my wife's arm. I know. Perfect little vacation. Go back and see Santana. Oh, my God. I got to do that. I used to get free rooms years ago. We used to go a lot. But those days are long gone. Probably charge me double now. Where the hell you been?
So Santana will be in Vegas?
Oh, yeah. They're going to be there. A whole bunch of shows. Yeah, if you look up Santana's 2026 concert schedule, they're going to be all over Las Vegas, playing at places like the House of Blues. I mean, 6 or 7 times at the House of Blues is what it looked like, and then some other places as well before they left.
I kind of wonder if they'll do like what a lot of the bands have been doing here lately. They'll put out a limited tour, and they'll kind of monitor, see how well those tickets go. And when the tickets sell out, they'll add more dates. They keep adding more dates.
Yeah.
In the old days, you'd come up with your concert tour, and that'd be it,
Right. That's right. No, that's right. So I'm gonna go see them. I think there was a whole bunch of dates in February back there. That gives me time to, get it all together, make it all work out. So anyway, I have a goal list for next year. Oh, Kate's got a goal list. Concerts she wants to see.
The other day I was driving down the road and Santana came on. They're playing Black Magic Woman. And I hate when they do this. Right when it gets to the good part of the song, it's the short version of the song. And it just fades out. Wait a minute. You just cut out the best part.
That's not right. Let me ask you guys something, okay? How often is there a conversation taking place on this show or others that we go to that this band has no right to be touring with the name that the band used to be called, because there's not 4 members, they're not the original 5 members. There's not and look at Santana. His band. I can't even begin to tell you how many different people he's played with, but you know what?
Crazy.
It's always still Santana, right? It's just funny how that works, because some people, it's like, that's not Foreigner, that's not the Eagles, that's not this band, that's not that band. But yet the Rolling Stones have changed a lot of personnel over the years. Yeah. And they're still the Rolling Stones. Nobody says to Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, you can't call yourself the Stones,
Yeah.
That's just not going to work. I mean,
plus Santana worked with a whole lot of other performers as well. I mean, I got a list here. I mean,
I know exactly.
Rob Thomas, Michelle Branch, Shakira, Chad Traeger, Everlast, Steven Tyler, Eric Clapton, Neil Schon.
You know what?
The list just goes on, and that just in the rock genre. He also does the same thing in jazz and blues.
Yeah, I saw that list too, Dan. I saw that list. We see that again, Chris?
Yeah, there's 2 of his albums that he does a whole lot of collaborations with. This one here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he has a lot of collaborations. I actually have.
And then after that, he did this one. That's
All
another
That
one.
I Am.
It's similar to Supernatural. It's all collaborations with different artists.
Nice.
Like Michelle Branch, Steve Tyler, Anthony Hamilton, Kirk Hammett, and
from Metallica. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis, Buddy Guy, Smokey Robinson, John Lee Hooker.
Yeah.
It just goes on.
Okay, Royce, you can make me smile.
It just goes on. It just goes and goes and goes. I don't know if you guys have seen this one with the dove on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wrong. This is the one that's actually from a painting, this picture right here. Yeah, and it's a compilation. It's got Evil Ways, Hope You're Feeling Better, Black Magic Woman, Oye Como Va, Everything's Coming Our Way, a few other songs. So
that's the album that I listened to most when I was a kid. I have it on CD, but I can't find it. But that's when I was a kid. That was the one that everybody had that album. I think maybe it was easier for them just because the songs they liked were on that as opposed to the individual albums.
Well, that's the compilations. Yeah. Compilations, greatest hits. They're always good to have, You can take one CD instead of 4 with you in your car.
Yeah.
And have all your favorite songs on it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, but at the same time, you can't beat them. I mean, really. I mean, I like to listen to most albums all the way through. I remember years ago, you could be real selective because you'd like this song and not like the next 2, like the next 2, not like the next one. And but anymore, I think everybody's trying to produce stuff that you're going to like all the way. That's the way it should have been. Not just don't throw some fill in there, Put some work into this. Damn it.
For sure.
Yeah, saw Santana in 78, The Dark Wood. Oh, that's way cool. Hey, nice. Good to see you again. Yeah, good to see you, man. Okay, so let's see as we continue here. Okay. Other things. I mean, Santana's tone, like you said, remember that time we did that show, Dan, where it's like you try to guess the song on 1 or 2 notes. I mean, remember when we were both playing songs on our phones to everybody and seeing how quick you could get it, That was kind of fun. But I mean, that's Santana too, the warm singing, mid-range, smooth sustain. Oh my God, the sustain is just amazing. Tone comes from his choice of slightly overdriven tube amps, moderate gain, frequent use of amps' natural compression and harmonics, rather than the heavy, effects pedals and stuff. So the vibrato, the legato. I mean, a wide controlled vibrato and fluid legato phrasing impart vocal qualities, note bend, sustain, breathe the way a mezzo might. He prefers expressive micro bends and subtle pitch inflections over doing fast staccato and picking. So anyway, it's all about feel and tone, and just his licks are like they're just tasty, I mean, he's not going to get up there and do the tapping like an Eddie Van Halen or some of these guys. He's going to get up there and it's like one note says more than 40 notes from somebody else half the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about, is that And the pauses between notes are as important as the notes themselves.
Yeah, his timing.
Pausing at the right places when you're playing. You know, there's no rush here. It's all about tone and style. You know.
Yeah.
And
when he wants to, he can play pretty quick too. So.
No, he can. He can. Yeah, he can.
But
yeah,
when he wants to.
Yeah, that comment right there that you're showing, that was what I was going to mention as well. Not only do you listen to Carlos, but you're waiting for that percussion too.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Yeah.
Percussion.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I mean, I love the drumming of Michael Shreve, but he wasn't the only one back there, you know, beating some kind of a drum. But he was just, man, I was a fan of his individually after seeing the movie Woodstock, you know. But everybody in that band was that way. Everybody. The percussion.
What was the Michael?
Afro, yeah.
Who was Jimi Hendrix's drummer? I always get him and Michael.
Mitch Mitchell.
Yeah, those two are two. They don't get as much name play as they should in the drummers category, but man, those two are definitely up there.
Oh yeah, no. Well, you know, Mitch Mitchell, his stock has been rising a lot. To be honest with you, he's getting a lot more credit than he used to.
Yeah. And Michael Shreve, like we talk about him here.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
You listen to most in lists and all that, he doesn't get a whole lot of respect.
Right. This is pretty cool from Dr. Insomnia. This guy's a wealth of knowledge. Oftentimes he'll be in the chats the day before the show, and he'll be throwing out all kinds of stuff. He's the one that was telling me about, you know, the Fillmore West you know, playing that Santana did for Bill Graham. You know, I was not aware of that, and I even have a Fillmore East West collection, you know, of just stuff that was just albums that were made because they had the best acoustics. I mean, they really set it all up right, and almost everybody had their stuff recorded when they were there, and some of that stuff's been getting released, you know, 20, 30 years after it was actually recorded. I mean, stuff is still coming out, as evidenced by what I was going to say next. I mean, Santana's Live at the Fillmore 1968 album consists of recordings from 4 shows between December 19th and December 22nd, 1968. I mean, predating Woodstock at the Fillmore West in San Francisco. These recordings were made 8 months before the band's debut album was released and feature, let's see, an early lineup, including different drummer and percussionists than what was later seen at Woodstock. The album, which was officially released in 1997. Okay, so think about this, folks. This recorded in 68, released in 97. We're talking 30 years.
Wow.
But see, that's what happened with the Fillmore, because like I said, he had the best sound system, the best acoustics. I mean, the guy was just the master, Bill Graham. And so everybody recorded their stuff. You guys have heard me talk about that show where, you know, a reporter brought John Lennon, Yoko Ono over to oh God, I'm drawing a blank, and I shouldn't, because it's becoming a kind of a favorite. And
the Jam Rag?
Zappa, yes, Zappa. He brought him over to Frank Zappa's house in New York and said, I want to introduce you to John and Yoko. And so they all talked and chatted, getting along pretty good. And Zappa told him, hey, why don't you guys come down to the Fillmore East tonight? And when I finish my set with my band, you and Yoko can come up and jam with me. And that took place. And that was all recorded. Even that jam was recorded. The funny thing is, and Dawson already mentioned it, is when they were doing that jamming, one of the songs Zappa pulled out was actually a song he'd already recorded and started playing it so they could jam along with it. And they actually took writing credit for it and put it on their album. Because the deal was, he told them, I'll use I'm going to record all this. I'll use the tapes any way I want. You guys can use the tapes any way you want. But he didn't think they were going to take an actual song he'd already released on an album and call it theirs and say they wrote it. Funny story. I mean, there's more to it, but I don't want to get too deep into it right now because we're not covering Zappa and we're not covering Yoko. So anyway, basically, in 1997, this was released 30 years later, showcases the band in a more raw improvisational state with some songs, appearing later on studio albums. Absolutely. Well, you know what? I was listening to that today. Thank you, Dr. Insomnia. He kind of turned me on to it. And so you can Google it and you can listen to that Fillmore West recordings, and it's really cool. And it it is raw, improv, but excellent. I mean, excellent. Okay. So, when you're mixing, Latin rock, blues rock, psychedelic rock, acid rock, Chicano rock, and jazz fusion, along with yacht rock, I mean, you're coming up with some pretty special stuff right there. So his debut album titled Santana was released in 1969, 56 years ago. Boy, do I feel old. The album was released by Columbia Recordings and gained significant traction following the band's performance at the Woodstock Festival earlier that same month. Okay, so Santana, of course, was formed in San Francisco. That's where he was opening for, Jerry Garcia, Grateful Dead, playing all those free concerts where everybody was stoned on acid at the Golden Gate Park, just down the street from Haight-Ashbury. 1967 Summer of Love. So anyway, so they were formed in San Francisco, California in 66 by Mexican-born American guitarist Carlos Santana. The band had various recording and performing lineups in its history. Yes, they did, with Santana being the only constant member. Okay. Tell him you can't use Santana anymore. The discography of Santana, he had 7 studio albums, 3 live albums, 6 compilations, 5 singles, and as Chris Elliott brought up earlier, he had 12 collaboration albums with other artists, the ones that Chris was mentioning, and 50 guest appearances at other people's concerts and stuff. So the list of awards and nominations, I didn't even want to try to. Well, first of all, you could never remember them. I didn't want to list them all. So basically, what I put down here, he was nominated for 40 awards and he won 18 of them. Okay. So yeah,
and he won 5 for Supernatural alone.
Yeah. Well, that's good information. Thank you. Dr. Bill Graham recorded every show at the Fillmore. Yes, he did. Dr. Rick. And like I said, 30 years later, Santana's came out, in the 90s, 97, I think I said. And yeah, no, there's still stuff that's going to continue to come out over the years.
All right. You want to hear a funny story, Royce?
Yes.
I just looked it up because I don't know if you remember me saying before that my dad went to see the Rolling Stones and Iggy Pop opened up, but I failed to mention before that Santana opened up after Iggy Pop, and that was 44 years ago to the day. It was Iggy Pop opened up. He come out on stage in a pink dress. The fans almost rioted and booed him right off the stage. And Santana came out. I heard they played a really good set, and then the Stones came out and finished the concert.
Wow!
Just looking that up, it's opening acts Iggy Pop, Santana in front of 80,000 people at the Pontiac Silverdome in 1981.
Wow, that's great. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, that's because I was looking at the date going, holy shit, 44 years ago to the day.
We were talking about that Frank Zappa song that John and Yoko took writing credit for. The name of the song was King Kong, and I got a message up here from Doc Insomnia. And he said King Kong debuted, at a Mother's 1966 show, Frank Zappa and Mother's Invention, with Lenny Bruce opening. That's cool. That's cool. And James Watson says Frank should have covered "Strawberry Fields Forever" and took the songwriting credit. Yeah, getting even. Yeah, absolutely. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Dan. Dan the man. Hit the thumbs up and do me a proper and hit that subscribe button. That would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. We got quite a few subscribers from last week's show, and we're excited because we had been in a slump. And last week's show, I mean, I've got 830 views on that now, and really pleased. And midweek, I put on a Carmen Apiece, 4-minute show. It's got, I don't know, not you. I mean, like 230 views. I put it on Wednesday, so just now 3 days. It's got 230 views, 4 minutes long. That was a fun one though. Carmen Apiece from Vanilla Fudge, and I came across a statement where Carmen Apiece says, "Well, if Vanilla Fudge had stayed together, we would have been as big as Led Zeppelin, or at least Deep Purple. Maybe defer to Deep Purple, if not Led Zeppelin." I thought that was such a classic statement. I got motivated to do a Carmen Apiece pre-recorded video, and it was fun to do. 4 minutes long. I got, it's nice to pick up some midweek views, midweek subscribers from a little show. My biggest show was about 7 or 9 minutes long, and I'm pushing 69,000 views on it. And I can't tell you, I got, I don't know, something like 300 subscribers and a couple of $100 from advertisers, running shows on it. And that was a hell of a show. And it was Frank Zappa on his deathbed wanting Ian Anderson. Jethro told Ian Anderson to call him to have a conversation with him, and Anderson just couldn't do it. He'd heard some things that Zappa had said about him, and he thought part of it was the British invasion. I mean, Ian Anderson's band was part of the British invasion, and the American bands were just getting murdered. All these British bands were just taking up all the airtime. And he thought, Zappa had made some comments. He wasn't real happy about that because he had a girl band plus his band and the Mothers, and he was having a hard time getting things going there when the British invasion happened. So anyway, he put the word out. He wanted Ian Anderson to call him. Okay. And Ian Anderson says, "I really wish now I would have done it." He picked up the phone several times, even let it ring a couple of times and put it back down. He goes, "What do you say to a dying man? He never even liked me." So he didn't know what to do. So anyway, that was, like I said, that show had 68,000 plus views. And you just never know, You put the next one on and think, well, this one's better than that one. It's 500 views. But anyway, that's just the way it goes, folks. So anyway, has anybody else have any more to say about Santana? Because I love the band, and I feel really bad I haven't seen him live yet. I'm sure I've had opportunities if I was paying enough attention, because I know he's been here on the Central California coast. I mean, I've lived here 40 years, and he's been here. I think he was at, if I'm not mistaken, well, he probably played at the fairgrounds. They have there's a big stadium here. And he's probably played at maybe Vina Robles, a much smaller venue where I've seen people like, Robert Plant and Jason Bonham and some different, quite a few. Actually, I saw Alice Cooper there, and it was fantastic. And Ace Frehley opened for him. Not bad for 60, 70 bucks, Good seats. There's no bad seats there. It's a small venue. So anyway,
I have a Santana DVD. It's Live at the House of Blues. It's sometime in the 2000s, and it says Santana plays jazz live at the House of Blues. So that's really showcases his abilities in that one.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Insomnia, that's I'm glad you mentioned that. I like to be accurate, but I'm only quoting what Ian Anderson has said when he was talking about the reasons that Frank maybe didn't like him, So anyway, 68 is a little late for the British invasion, which started in 64, and Okay, well, that's interesting. More of the psychedelic era. Okay, yeah, kind of the second coming of the British invasion psychedelic era. Okay, thank you, thank you. Dwayne Walotica, I saw Jethro Tull twice live. I saw them once at the Ice Palace in Las Vegas when I was 18 years old. At one of the concerts, Ian Anderson mentioned about prostate cancer. If I recall correctly, Frank Zappa was mentioned. Well, that's interesting, Dwayne. Thanks for sharing. I need to look that up. You're probably right about that. That he had it. It was the pink unitard he wore in "Rock Me Tonight," combined with the ballet dancing that sealed Billy's fate. John Patterson, right on. Okay, I saw Toll 3377. Okay, Carla Murray. Hey, good to see you, Carla. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Okay. I want to mention I added 9 new videos to my membership, and there's some fun stuff in there. I've got my tour of Haight Ashbury, the Summer of Love stuff. I've got my tour. I did. I also have a playlist called Tours of Famous Places, and so I stuck some of my tours on there, and one of them was Clint Eastwood. We went to his ranch for dinner, Mission Ranch, and then went down to the Hog's Breath Inn that he owned for 27 years and sold to a friend of his. And it was a lot of fun because we were cutting up in there. We were all laughing and making jokes. And I asked the workers, Clint Eastwood been in? They looked at each other and grinned and goes, he was in last night. I knew they were just pulling my leg. I'm sure they tell that to everybody.
Like, you just missed him.
What kind of guy is Clint Eastwood? And the guy's checking somebody out. He goes, he's the best guy in the whole world. And so there's just a bunch of funny stuff going on in there. The Hog's Breath Inn. We had fun there. So anyway, just letting everybody know, my membership has grown. There's 19 videos in there. We'll be adding more, all kinds. So anyway, if anybody's interested in the membership, we're interested in having you. So anyway, guys, let's see. Where were we anyway? What is this? 7:22. I spent a lot of time on Michael's, hoping the buffering would stop and he'd come on. I feel like I've been streaming for 2 hours now. So Dawson, what have you been doing with yourself?
I've just been pretty consistent with some of the streams. There's been local radio as well. I just like the live stuff. People catch me when they can, and I whenever there's a streamer, that's where I'm at. I'm always want to get to the party, so that's where it's at.
Right.
The first time I discovered Santana was through Guitar Hero. A lot of people my age, they play Guitar Hero, and just halfway through the game, there's like, oh, who's the Santana guy? And ooh, Black Magic Woman, that seems kind of cool. And then I'm playing the song, and I'm like, okay, and there's a lot of sustained notes. But then something happens halfway through that song. I don't know what it is, but you're in the song, and you're in a whole nother world. You're in Santana's world, man. And but before you know it, the song's over. Like, what the heck happened? I was just transported somewhere, and you get back and you're like, whoa, pretty cool.
That's pretty funny. I remember buying stuff like that for my grandkids.
It's funny. It's funny how a lot of the kids nowadays too do hear about some of these older bands through different type of media, through cartoons, through games. I remember even Pantera was on SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah. Johnsrus says when he was doing a lot of concerts back decades ago, Bakersfield would not have been one of his stopping grounds because the city sucks for getting good rock shows now. That's really funny and really, I can totally relate to that. A lot of my dad's family, when they sold this little dry farm in Eulogy, Texas, they moved to Delano, California. Leopard's coming to town. And they moved because they were farmers. So they moved to Delano. My grandpa bought a little house there after he sold his farm. And so anyway, we'd go every summer. Our summer vacation was to Bakersfield and Delano to visit all our relatives. My dad had 11 kids in his family, and 90% of them were all right there, you know, and they all had kids my age and stuff like that. So we'd have a lot of fun. But I'll never forget, I was at my cousin Johnny's house, and next door was this great big tour bus that it said Buck Owens and the Buckaroos on it, you know. And so they were staying at this little hotel next to my cousin Johnny's house. And yeah, no, it was pretty, you know, country and western there. And yeah. So that's a pretty funny statement, and one I can relate to. Let's see, yeah, something else. So anyway, yeah, country. I mean, I'll admit I went through a country phase. I had a lot. You know, we live in a rural area. You know, made up of like former land grants and cattle ranches and things like that. 250 miles. We're 250 miles south of San Francisco. We're 250 miles north of Los Angeles, on the California coast. You know, well, I'm 11 miles from the coast where I live, up in the hills. But it's a rural area, and that's why we have this great big, large fair every year. You know, where the kids, the FFA kids, and them FHA. No, that's something else. They all raise animals. They come and show and sell their sheep and goats and pigs and sheep, and sold those at one of the and it's really country's huge here. I think I saw I think Alabama came here. It was in the stadium for like 6 years straight, and I probably saw 3 of those shows. You know? And so we saw a lot of country stuff here too, as well as rock. I mean, I've seen everything from Van Halen, his reunite concert with his original singer, you know, David Lee Roth, to you know, I never got to see Garth Brooks, but I mean, so many of them, Earl Thomas Conley, and I can't even think of all their names. It's been so long. I'm going back now to like the late 80s kind of a thing, you know, early 90s, somewhere in there, when my whole family went country, and we'd go to all these concerts, and it was a lot of fun, you know. Yeah. We saw pretty much the biggest people at the time, you know, country acts.
You know, next week I'm going to be seeing Zakk Wylde with his band Zakk Sabbath over.
Zakk Sabbath, yeah.
In Fort Worth, which is about as country as you can get. So here we are doing Zakk Sabbath in the middle of country.
Right.
How that's going to be.
Well, you know, I went to Record Store Day the other day. And I didn't go early. We had some guy coming up to our house at 9 o'clock. We had a bunch of papers to sign, and that whole thing took about an hour. And that was at 9 o'clock. And I wasn't going to run down there. The guy told me there were some people in line at 3 o'clock. You know, they opened the doors at 6. But I went down there. There were still a few things I picked through. I won't really talk about them now, other than the fact that you triggered something, Dan, when you said that. You know, Zakk Sabbath, because there was an album, a Record Store Day album called Jazz Sabbath.
Wow.
Jazz Sabbath, you know, a jazz trio, and you turn it around and it's like all your favorites, you know, Paranoid, Iron Man, and they play them in jazz. I was so damn tempted to get that, you know.
I have seen different versions of Black Sabbath like that. I saw one of the hillbilly. They're a bunch of hillbillies doing Black Sabbath, you know.
That's funny. But you know what? Yeah, hillbillies doing Black Sabbath. Yay, nothing surprises me. Some of the biggest stoners on the planet, you know, hillbillies, right? I mean, yeah, you get stoned, you want to hear some Black Sabbath, you know. You don't want to hear, you know, Garth Brooks. Well, actually, I liked Garth Brooks. He was pretty cool.
Hey, right?
Yes. Oh, hey, let's check that out, brother.
Okay.
Let's check that out.
Both Santana, obviously. Just says Carlos Santana spent his formative years playing guitar and working nightclubs of the dubious repute in red light area of Tijuana. His move to San Francisco coincided with the Haight-Ashbury musical explosion.
Yeah.
Then virtually from the beginning, he attracted attention when he guested on The Live Adventures of Mike Bloomfield and Al Cooper album, meanwhile organizing electric blues bands with which he gigged at local clubs and bars. Then he brought in all the, you know, the Mike Cabarello and Jose Chapito, the percussionist, who actually Jose Chapito Arias, he won a competition for the best percussionist before Santana recruited him. And then Greg Rowley, who actually was a founding member of both Santana and Journey. And the second album, Abraxas, he elaborated further on the original album and come up with the song Oyo Como Va, who was written by acknowledged king of Latin swing, Tuito Puyunte. Also added a more authenticity by augmenting with the number of respected Latin artists. The result was another monster seller in the string of ecstatically received sellout U.S. concerts. And then Santana 3 and 72 introduced new members to the band. Coke Escovedo and Carlos Santana's young guitar protege, Neil Schoen, who joined the band when he was only 16.
Wow.
And appeared to bring the band's format to a logical conclusion. And then in 1971, Carlos Santana's quote-unquote solo outing, Carlos Santana and Buddy Miles live in 1971, was a little more than a casual jam, which did nothing to enhance the guitarist's reputation. If anything, it pinpointed his limitations when working outside of his own band. Nevertheless, Santana subsequently disbanded his group and, guided by his friend Mahavishnu John McLaughlin, embraced teachings of the guru, Siri Shimnoi.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, through which he assumed a new name, Devadip. I don't know how long he was called Devadip for, but. And then 1972 set Caravan Sarai found Santana working with looser aggregation of musicians, the product being a Haiti fusion of Latin jazz and rock devices. Schoen and Rowley were on the album, but omitted from the 1973 version of Santana Band, which comprised guitarist leader Doug Ruch. Okay, sorry. Let me restart that. Rowley and Schoen were on the album, but omitted from the 1973 version of the band. So they were on the album, but they didn't go on tour, I don't think.
Okay.
And then from the years 1973 to 74, again found Santana working outside the group, first with the aforementioned John McLaughlin on a jointly credited Love, Devotion, Surrender, and then subsequently with another Chimnoi convert, Taria Alice Coltrane.
Right.
On Illuminations. And then again, Santana reshuffled the band, though Carlos Muse had evidently deserted him. In 1975 was a poor year with Borboleta faring badly. And then by 1976, Santana was in full retreat from the heady experiments of Caravanasai, attempting on Amigos to regain his touch by returning to his roots. The results were uninspiring, but put him back in the charts as he did the Thoroughly Ordinary Festival later in 1976.
Wow.
And in summer 77, Santana again dissolved the band, retaining only keyboardsman Tom Coaster for the next formation. Now managed by American rock entrepreneur Bill Graham, who promoted the early gigs and talked Santana onto Woodstock.
Right.
Well, they were still unknown yet. At his best, distinctive characteristics of Santana's guitar improvisations have been their purity and the sweetness of tone, plus his ability to sustain notes on feedback for any length.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then Lotus, 1975, is a lavishly packaged 3-album set recorded live in Japan, released in the West after demand for Japanese import copies arose.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a mouthful, man. That's impressive. I think this is funny what John Patterson said here. His buddy won AM radio call-in contest back in 1982. He was offered a 10-speed bicycle or 2 tickets to see Santana in Toronto with a limo and hotel stay. He took the bike.
Oh no. Oh.
Well, you know, a lot of kids. He probably was pretty young. A lot of kids would have taken the bike.
He really needed that transportation.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, I like country music. Originally from a large farm. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with country music. I have a nephew who, you know, he plays guitar and been in bands with my older brother. They have bands together and my older brother's wife. But anyway, I had a show one time on country music where my nephew came on and played and sang some songs and stuff a few years ago. But anyway, yeah, nothing wrong with country at all. I mean, yeah, you know, I'll never take anything away from Willie Nelson or, well, the four, well, not horsemen, but highwaymen.
the highwayman. Yeah.
Maybe I should have been. Maybe I should have been the highwayman, not the horseman.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you know, Johnny Cash. I've been a fan of Johnny Cash. I can't tell you how far back it goes. We're sitting in a little cafe. We have breakfast and lunch. You got the little miniature jukeboxes you play right on your own table. And then there's a big one just blasting. This blasting Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. And I thought my dad, you know, my dad loved like Hank Williams Sr. and all the country guys, George Jones and stuff. And I said to my dad, I go, "Hey, Dad, you like Johnny Cash?" He goes, "No." And I'm like, "What? I thought you liked country music. This thing's just playing wherever we go." And he goes, "Well, no, I like his music." And I said, "Well, what don't you like?" He goes, "Well, he's a hophead." On that hop, is he? Boy, was I a disappointment later. But anyway, so that was funny. Those kind of things are always funny. Little things. I was like,
praise
born
the Bible. Hallelujah.
Okay, yes. So let's see. We got the Beatles for Sale album is Half Country. Yeah, there you go. Half Country right there. And then we've got Ringo in particular, you know, they're going to put me in the movies. He was always coming up with doing a country song. Huh?
I'm seeing what Chris's thing is there. I haven't seen that one before, that poster.
Oh, okay.
That's another Led Zeppelin one.
Oh, Hammer of the Gods. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, folks. So we're trying to catch up on the chat. I leave no chat message unlooked at here.
See, when I was telling
you about
the Santana, that was the T-shirt for the first concert.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then the back.
Wow. That's a cool shirt. Yeah. Santana. I like it. Yeah. John's Russ has a comment here. Led Zeppelin has been here a few times. We get them here every year. Which one is it that's the all-female one? Is that Zeppelin or is that a different one? Because they both come here. There's one that's all girls that plays Led Zeppelin songs. I've been threatening to go see them. I just haven't yet, you know. And he also says he saw Jason Bonham, Led Zeppelin Evening. Yeah, same here. I saw Jason Bonham, Led Zeppelin Evening.
Yeah, I've seen
small venue, Vina Robles Amphitheater. No bad seats. Oh my God, it was fantastic. Yeah, and so was Robert Plant when he played there with Allison. He did some extended, you know, Led Zeppelin songs, and oh my God, it was just fantastic to hear that. You know, it's as close as you're ever going to get now. I mean, he's into a whole nother thing now. He's not interested in going back to what he was doing before. But what he does, he still does Zeppelin songs though, and he does them very well. You know. In fact, I'm going to be doing a show before too much longer. It may just be a pre-recorded, not too long. But what it's going to be is Stairway to Heaven, line by line, the meeting. And I've got that kind of put away in the can. I've done a lot of research and stuff. Even Robert Plant's thoughts on different meanings of different statements, and that it's a moving target too. I mean, I'm not sure there's going to be a definitive meaning. But go ahead, Chris.
Well, when I was in grade school, I can't find it. It's been lost. But I wrote an essay all about Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, you did? That'd be interesting.
My train of thought at that point is I broke it down into a journey of somebody, in this case, a woman, who's addicted to something. In my mind at the time, it was like she was addicted to heroin. And as you go through the songs, you get to, right, there's a road you can, diverging roads. You take one way, you take the other. And eventually, if you keep working your way up the staircase, you'll get there, and just in that they're part of this. I forget it all in my head right now, but some of it is like when they had a bit of a fall off, and just, I can't find it, but I ended up getting
I'd love to see a copy of that.
Well, I wish I could find it. I've been looking for it forever.
I'm going to intentionally not make many comments on that subject. But I don't recall coming across anything that indicated heroin use or anything like that.
No, not necessarily. I just, in my head, it was heroin, but it could be just any kind of an addiction is how I kind of relate.
Gotcha.
Somebody started with an addiction, and then just, and all the struggles along the way, and then eventually, when all are one and one is all, to be a rock and not to roll, right?
Yeah.
But back to Santana, I got another one. This we were talking about the first three albums, and the Caravana and Santana 3, the two that Neil Schon was on. And this was the next album that Neil Schon was on. This is it's called Santana 4, but it's the first time the original lineup.
Oh, look at that! You're kidding me.
Santana, Greg Rowley, Neil Schon, Michael Shreve, and Carabello.
Really?
Yeah. And this was released in 2023, I think.
Well, I must admit, you've got some very cool CDs, Chris.
Oh, I still got one more thing if you really want to get. This is kind of cool. I've got this at a record store. It was in the used CD bin, but it's a 3 CD set called Dance of the Rainbow Serpent.
Wow. That's impressive.
Remember you were asking me before about my box sets and whatever?
Yes.
This is one of the ones I was referring to. I take the CDs out and I just put them into the plastic, hard plastic cases.
Yes.
But this thing, it's got a real good, I don't even know if this is still available or not to buy, but it's got different pictures, stories about all the different songs, everything. It's really cool. I haven't listened to it in a long time. It's broken up into 3 different sections. Disc 1 it's called Heart. I don't know if you guys can. But Heart, Spirit, and Soul.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Some of the songs on there are Evil Ways, The Live Soul Sacrifice, Samba Tea, Everybody's Everything. That's the first disc. Disc 2 is Soul. It's got a Blues for Salvador, I'll Be Waiting, Europa, Open Invitation. And then the third disc is a lot of previously unreleased and unavailable songs, including a really cool one on there, The Healer, that he did with John Lee Hooker. Wow. That's about it there. I just wanted to, that's the last thing I had to show was the box set.
Oh, okay. No, those are totally cool. I don't see those anywhere else. Actually, don't see those anywhere else, Chris. Only you have those, man.
Well, this, like I said, it was at the local CD shop, and it was on the shelf. I think he had it on $15 or whatever. So hey, why not?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That was probably, I don't know, 15 years ago or something when this came out.
Yeah.
It came out. Came out in '95, but I didn't get it then. I got it later. But.
Okay. Well, Dwayne Wallachus here says one of his siblings saw Marty Robbins live shortly before he passed away. That would have been a cool concept. Yeah, I'm a huge Marty Robbins fan. Even now, if I come across something, I'll buy it. I love so many of those songs of his. Jason and his band did physical graffiti. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's right.
and sorry, I know I said I was done. I got one more curiosity. I was looking up
Okay.
Santana earlier, and that video I was telling you I watched, and they had this album. It's called Milagro.
Okay. Wow.
And it's the only
That's
album
crazy.
that he did on Polydor Records, and it's owned by Universal Music and not Columbia. Like, he was signed with Columbia for years, and this is the only album that's not part of Columbia Records or any of his other. This is strictly by itself, owned by Universal Music. It's
Oh,
the
I
only
see.
one of these that is that. Now I'm done. All I got is compilations that nobody needs.
Okay. Yeah, cool collection. Winslow Red Cross says, cool collection, Chris. And he's absolutely right. That is a very cool collection. I like Johnny Cash and all the Sun Records artists. Yeah, Sun Records, that's a big thing. The only thing I have on Sun Records is Jerry Lee Lewis. I have 2 copies of it. Sun, that label alone is like worth something, Yeah. That's a big thing, the Sun Records label. Okay, guys. So, any closing statements? I'll start by just saying that I'm a big Santana fan. I'd like to get everything Chris has.
Well, I've been collecting for over 35 years, so picking up pieces along the way, right? So.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I don't know why I haven't seen him. That's happened to me with a few people. It seems like there's always something else going on. So I can't miss this next one. These guys are all getting old. They're aging. Yeah. A lot of them are passing away, and you're just not going to get that many opportunities. You can't say, "Well, I'll see him in 2028." Yeah, I mean, come on. If you're going to see him, see him.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because especially with Carlos Santana, I mean, for three tours, he's had medical issues.
Yeah,
21 and 22 and 25. So, and it seems like it always happens during the tour. So,
right.
But hopefully this is a year where he can get through this tour, healthy. So if you get a chance to see him, do it.
Absolutely. It's just too close. I just have to go. I can't let this pass me by.
You get a chance to see him, believe me.
Right. John Patterson, great show, Royce, as always. Maybe a tube show in your future. Yeah, maybe so. I'll have to look into that. Thank you, John. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And Dwayne Walonica, I have Johnny Cash in my music collection, as do I. In fact, 8 months ago, I ordered a Hank Williams Sr. album. I love those songs, man. Jambalaya, and all that stuff. You cheating heart. Anyway, great stuff. I mean, my dad was he was right. That was really, really good. So anyway, Dawson.
Carlos Santana, he's from Mexico, and we're so used to hearing like top 20 or American music and the British invasion, and then you get this guy from Mexico, and like, whoa, it just blows your mind.
Yeah,
you're watching Woodstock, and you kind of get a feel for some of the artists. And then this guy comes on. He's like a wizard. He's just a wizard. He's just playing his tunes, and like he's playing some flamenco guitar. He's playing some that different style, and there's not a lot of other Mexican guitar players that you could think of. So that's one of his fortes, his mojo, and it's what he brings to the table. And whenever you hear him, you're like, hey, all right, I'll listen to some of that.
That's funny. The what do they call the kind of the Mexican folksy bands? They play these gigantic guitars with big strings on them and different horns. And they're all dressed
mariachi bands.
Mariachi. Anyway, so we're down in Mexico. Let's see, what was it? One of the beaches down there in northern Baja. And I'd go down there and buy fountains, big concrete fountains for people. I bought a $7,500 fountain with 4 dolphins shooting water into the lower bowl and 2 dolphins twisted above shooting. They wanted like almost twice that much for it. We got it for $7,500. But I got a fountain out here at my house. I paid $400 for it down there. One of the bowls kind of started deteriorating, the 3-foot bowl. It's got these cherubs on top and some bowls and cherubs. And so we found a place in Fresno to make a bowl for us for just, I don't know, $269. And their price on my exact fountain that I paid $400 for is $4,700 plus tax.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to go down there and buy stuff like that. But we were down there and down there having fun. And one of these guys with one of the great big gigantic mariachi guitars, you almost have to hold it like this, it came over, and I said, hey, can I try that? We're sitting at a table having a cocktail outside. He hands it to me. I start playing, what was it? Enter the Sandman, Metallica. Just that opening riff. All of a sudden, he's looking at me real funny. He goes, oh, he recognized it. I gave him his guitar back, and me and my son-in-law were just sitting there dying. Okay, there should be more famous Mexican guitar players. They can outplay nearly everyone. Yes, they can. They're good. Excellent stream, Royce. Glad I stayed on yours, unlike Michael's. Oh, thanks so much, John. I appreciate it. Poor Michael. He's been having issues here and there with his equipment, and as soon as he gets something, like his voice and everything, he's got some new mics and stuff. Everything sounds just perfect, man. But then all of a sudden, it was his internet provider that messed everything up, I guess. A lot of Hispanic rockers before Santana. Richie Valens, absolutely. Died on the plane. Yeah. Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper. Chris Montez. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. Crazy. I was up at one of my favorite antique stores that has big bins of albums people keep stocked. And I came across Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. First time I've ever seen the album out there anywhere. Had Little Red Riding Hood, Wooly Bully. I don't know why I didn't buy it. I'm going to go back. If they still have it, I'll grab it just for fun. Yeah, I like that. I like Sam the Sham. He was pretty good. Rampage. I'm sorry to hear that, Rampage video. Wow. So what is your show on again, Dawson?
I'm going to see if anybody's seen The Dirt from the Motley Crue movie. The guy who played Tommy Lee, the actor, that's MGK.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to see him next Monday. So
is
pretty
that right?
excited, yeah.
Huh. Okay, guys, I think we're ready to sign off. I want to thank the chat. We love you guys, man. We got the best chat in the world, man. I really, really enjoy seeing your comments. Can't always keep anywhere near up with them, but I really enjoy catching as much as I can. You get busy talking, you don't catch too much. Okay, wait a minute. What did James Watson say?
Coochie.
Okay.
Charo,
that's right. Yeah.
Lady Marmalade.
Anyway, Dr. Rick's still here. Piccolina, my friend, is still here. Winslow's still here. Okay, go ahead.
Said Charo, she actually is an incredibly talented guitar player.
Yeah.
I mean, when she came to the U.S., she was all the looks, but on my show, I played videos of her playing, and man, she's an incredible guitar player.
Wow. Yeah, she was silly. Yeah,
you never got any. Nobody looked past her breast when she was in North America, but man, when you just get right down to it, she has so much talent.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I remember she played guitar, but I didn't know how well. Okay, folks. So love you all in the chat. Appreciate you hanging with us. And Four Horsemen, thanks so much for being here and spending your time, helping the show out and being a part of the show more than anything. Couldn't do it without you guys. And appreciate you all so much. And that's what's happening in Royce's world today. Thanks for showing up, guys. We appreciate you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night, everybody.